Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Download brought to you by Rex Opportunities and Ritual Motion. I am joined today again with Dana. Thanks for joining us, Dana.
Thank you again. I can't. I'm just excited you guys had me back once again. To all of Ben's fans, I am not Boca Ben, but he will be returning next
Yes,
week, which is very exciting. But Melanie, I don't know what happened. It just seemed like there's a lot of good stuff that has popped up this morning that I feel we should kind of kick off and chat about.
definitely. You had one about the money spent on gaming.
Yeah, so I'm always I shouldn't say I'm always very pleasantly surprised when you get these stats that come out right around January from the previous year. And this most recent one, I knew there was going to be a big number associated with, but total consumer spending on video games in the U.S. Now this is just the U.S. was 60.4 billion. That's billion with a B. Um, dollars, and that was
Mhm.
across PCs, that was consoles, VCR, that's hardware, that's accessories. Um, it's just crazy. I mean, it's up 7% from last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think we had a story before about how much mobile games and specifically mobile action games, are making. So I'm curious if they're helping that big growth. Genshin Impact was the biggest growing mobile game. And speaking of mobile games, I'm going to skip to this one since we're talking about spending money. Psyonix is focusing on a mobile game with Rocket League. The other day, we almost didn't get Boca Ben on because he was too busy playing Rocket League on his phone. Um, so yeah, Rocket League Sideswipe is going to be something that they are focused on. It's got the same basic gameplay, it's a little different. I was playing it the other day. And so if you don't know, Rocket League is basically soccer with cars. It's very popular in the high school, middle school realms because it's easy to get started, easy to understand. And then the other day, I had the hot take of, I think it's going to be the next big esport that takes over because all these younger kids, that generation is playing it. But now we're going to get even more people playing with Rocket League Mobile. It is slightly different. It's not cross platform, so the mobile game does not play with the PC and consoles, but it definitely introduces you to the concepts and ideas. So definitely excited about that.
Yeah, and I just think quickly with that, Melanie, we were chatting before we went live. The other thing with Rocket League is it's a non-violent game, right? So I
Yeah.
really see there's going to be a lot more adoption to that with the as we know in the U.S. and the middle schools and elementary schools are really quickly embracing esports programs. Sometimes in the middle school, elementary school, it may not be as formal as it is when
Mhm.
it gets into high school, but I see Rocket League as being that staple, like one of the
Yeah.
staple games. So, you get kids at a young age start playing the game. It makes it, to your point, it's going to keep on growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
So it will be really interesting to see. I'm curious where Rocket League is going to go, even in this whole world of metaverse and VR, like what
Hmm.
that whole next, evolution of not
That's
of
true.
Rocket League could go to. So yeah, I love this story, and I think there's a lot to watch
Yeah.
for with regards to that for sure.
You bring up an interesting point. My child loves cars, and he would love to be able to be in a game where it feels like he's driving a car. So that VR component, maybe they should start, looking into that and getting people playing. All right.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about complexity.
So complexity. It's really interesting. You know, I love this story, and of course, when I'm going to talk, you're going to know why. So Complexity Agreement Gaming just did sign a sponsorship agreement with Ateria. It's a digital NFT platform, and it's really interesting. We talked about this the last one, as and folks may know, we're going completely head first as Virtual Motion as an organization with this, trying to understand the world of blockchain and crypto and all of that. But when I see things like Complexity and I see them doing these sponsorships, it just makes you understand that how big this is all becoming, right? Now, what's interesting about Eteria is they're one of the first, not the only, but one of the first platforms, NFT platforms, that is really touting themselves as that they are a carbon neutral platform, right? So their whole thing is we're carbon neutral. I think you're going to see a lot of that with a lot of these NFT crypto platforms coming out. They're going to start taking approach, but it's also no different than big server farms like Amazon has and everything else that are trying to take that same approach. So it's um it's interesting and it's exciting. I think this NFT space, we're just scratching the surface of where this is all going to go for sure.
Yeah, and if you are watching this and you want to learn more about NFTs, crypto, creator economy, we have Creators on the Block coming in March. And then also Dana with our advisor, Arnell, has a show that you can check out.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, so it's I and check out our on demand. We did our first show last night. It gives you a great insight of just to understand who Arnell is and the backstory, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I thought, 'cause as somebody new to NFTs, I learned a lot about what that meant and what that could mean in the future. So I'm looking forward to learning more as we understand the crypto space. Kind of going on that same theme of like metaverse, is Snapchat wants to use its new lenses to spark virtual shopping sprees. Now, I have noticed this with Snapchat. I don't use it very often, but when I do, it's always pushing like these makeup brand type filters. And so they've been using this as a demo of like, if you want to, try these Ulta Beauty products or MAC Cosmetics, you can test, see what they look like, and then they're going to employ like an augmented reality so you can really play around with it, and then go on to shopping and seeing what it looks like and buying all the different colors that you like. So I think that's smart. I think that is leading into what the metaverse could be, this different mold between like not just being virtual, but using the virtual to impact your physical purchases as well.
Yeah, I thought this story was great. And, it's interesting because I forgot what the actual statistic is, but we look at our phones more than we look at anything else throughout the day. So, Snapchat, I feel they've always been out there leading edge with some of the technology they've offered their users. And I think tying it into AR is really smart. And I think what we'll see, and it will remain to be seen, who will be the winner of this whole metaverse space. Will it be virtual reality headsets or will it be AR? And I think some of that is, let's wait to see. That's all I can say because I,
Yeah.
I I don't know. It's an interesting path, and Pokemon Go really led the way with AR,
Hmm.
um, but I think AR has a lot more amazing capabilities.
Yeah.
And right now, like I said, we'll see because the fact that you have to put a headset on for VR is
Yep.
a little bit constricting for some folks. But I know VR is going to a place where headsets that may not be required. So,
Yeah. And what's interesting, you bring up a good point, is that to really be profitable in a bigger section, like you have to be able to be accessible. And
mm,
so right now, the headsets aren't accessible to a lot of people. You have to have that disposable income, you have to
mhm,
have the space, but everybody seems to have a phone. So if you
yeah.
can capture that phone audience, that's going to be huge. And then if you can move it onto tablets and things like that, like you're going to capture more and more profit.
Yeah, this is the common denominator, right, for
Yeah,
everybody. So,
for
if you
sure.
think if you think mobile first, whatever you do as a company or whatever, you're going to be ahead of the game for sure.
Yeah, well, that leads me to our next topic because Fan House kind of blasted Apple for their app store fees. So they're having to now raise their prices with a 50% surcharge. And basically, they're just calling Apple out on it. Like, this is, they even said it's because of Apple's BS. So I'm interested to see how that goes for Apple. They're so big, and it's hard to take on Apple. Even Epic is, trying to challenge them, and it seems like it's hard to take them down. But with the Snapchat and things like that wanting to do in-app purchases, I'm curious to see if Apple can still hold on to requiring those in-app fees, or if they're going to have to slowly give up some of that and try to make it where people will be using it, or will people slowly go to other apps or other like mobile devices.
Yeah, it's been something that I think any Apple fan or user has. It's a challenge. I'm 50-50 from a computer sense. I've always been a big fan of Apple products, but for mobile, to me, Android operating system is far more superior. But this whole thing with fan bases, I think we're going to see a lot of these, Melanie, come up. And what do? Right? Because right now, it's hard because you're tied to the app operating system. The
Yeah.
operating system controls everything. So it controls the end user's experience, but now what we're seeing with fan base, it's also controlling their business partners.
Hmm.
And if they decide to keep on increasing, it's going to be really hard to get people not to use the product because it's so entrenched. It's so many people. So this
Yeah.
is another one which is going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward, and
Yeah.
what people do.
I know. Even though I know it's going to cost more, I am an Apple fan, but I think that they did a good job brainwashing me as a young
Mhm.
person growing up, and then having the Apple phone. And, it's really hard to change once you're stuck. So, but because of these different charges and just some of the issues, I've definitely, looked at switching at some points. And if it starts getting where it's just so much more expensive to be an Apple user, a lot of consumers are going to change.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, kind of our last story, staying in the crypto world. Gen G teams up with crypto exchange Bithum. We think it's Bithum, Bithum. We were having a hard time deciding how to pronounce it, but it's a South Korean cryptocurrency exchange. And the partnership will see Bithum sponsor Gen G's PUBG and Overwatch teams. So not much information is disclosed, but definitely looking to see what that means. Dana, I know you have thoughts about this.
Well, I'm excited about it. I think what we're seeing now is an understanding, right? Which once was when people talked about crypto, it was almost sometimes it was a very taboo
Hmm.
conversation to have. I think there's a lot to learn. I think there's several handfuls of folks that are actually true experts in it. I will say that I am just a student, and learning. There's a lot of information to be learned. But what's exciting, Melanie, with this is you're going to see a lot of partnerships, which gives a lot of opportunities to people in our industry. For the past several years, those opportunities went away. Right, the sponsorships weren't there. The sponsorship dollars weren't there. Now we have this massive emerging industry, i.e., crypto, which, by the way, is completely connected with the metaverse. Now there's going to be, I think, a lot more opportunities for companies, and not only in our industry, but you're even seeing with crypto.com. They have a huge arena stadium now. I mean, you have celebrities doing commercials. Matt Damon did a commercial. I think Tom Brady did a commercial for crypto.com. So if I'm in the, we're in the industry, but especially these athletes, I think that's a really an exciting time now because it's going to give them opportunities to get some sponsorship dollars for not only them but also endemic brands.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it for our topics today. If you have an opinion and you want to catch our attention, you can use the hashtag RexDailyDownload. We'll be posting this on LinkedIn, and I will be checking Instagram and Twitter for the hashtag. Love to know what your thoughts are about crypto and metaverse kind of taking over and like being part of the gaming space and all these different brands, partnering up. And what your thoughts are about, using the VR and AR. Would you buy something if it's a lens and you get to try it out first? So let us know. Again, this is brought to you by Rex Opportunities and Ritual Motion. You can join more sessions by going to ritualmotion.com, and you can go to daily download at Rex Opportunities and get the daily news.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you,
I would say
everyone.
also, if you want to become a creator, just hop
Yeah.
on our site, click on, just join the guild. You can become a creator. That we have no barriers of entry. You actually can, as we call it, create to earn from day one, and you can be part of the community. And Melanie, once again, thank you for letting me co-host. We know Ben is enjoying himself, and he'll be back next week. And I would just say
Yeah.
for everyone, in order everything else, just right here, be
Be
kind.
kind.
Right, that's it.
Yes. Oh, and I forgot to mention tomorrow we have a special guest, collegiate coach Adam Antor will be coming and chatting with
Awesome,
me.
great, great.
All right. We got to do the Ben thing.
Thank you.